Travis Hunter and Lenee are now married. We saw this lavish wedding they had about 10 days ago in Tennessee. We know that he brought her like a $500,000 truck, and everybody was talking about it all online. A lot of women are jealous. A lot of men are mad. And I said that once they got married, I really wasn't going to do too many videos about this no more. I wasn't going to talk about them because I want to see them succeed. I want to see them make it, right? But a lot of people are asking, did he sign a prenup? Was there a prenuptial agreement in place, right, with him once he tied the knot with this woman? Because we know that he just signed a $45 million rookie deal. So we've been asking the questions, and lawyers been saying this.
Big news today. Wide receiver Travis Hunter, who just signed a $50 million NFL contract, apparently got married in Tennessee. And now the internet is ablaze. What is he actually giving up here by failing to do it?
I mean, in Tennessee, I believe they are an equitable distribution state, which means that things generally are split equally, but it doesn't have to be exactly 50-50. And so with something like a $50 million contract, depending on the, when the divorce occurs, if you were in California, there's an argument that, she could be entitled to exactly half of that contract. That's not necessarily the case in Tennessee. There's also a bunch of other factors like the length of the marriage, and other things like that would affect how much money she would be walking away with if the parties were to get divorced.
So people was wondering, why would he get married in Tennessee? And we know in a lot of cities, especially like California, New York City, a lot of things are broken down 50-50. We know in California it's vicious. You get married, he could be subject to lose half of his contract. Well, we know in Tennessee it's not that simple. Sometimes things could be divvied down 50-50. Sometimes things could be taken, he can walk away with 80%. It all depends on the length of the marriage and certain circumstances. But the lawyers, they broke it down this way.
Say this, and this is my final takeaway. I think the internet needs to calm down a little bit. This is a personal decision that this person makes. A lot of people still consider marriage to be a sacred contract, and it's quite challenging to come in and promise somebody you're going to spend the rest of your life and then say, hey, by the way, let me have you sign this prenup. So I'm going to give this young man a little bit of credit in just being brave enough to make his own decision. So everybody, just remember, hate the game, not the player.
So that attorney, he was basically saying that marriage is still sacred and we should just basically mind our business and leave them alone. But we know in the modern times, people don't view marriage the way that they did in the past. They don't view relationships in the way that they did in the past. People are not loyal. They don't sacrifice. They're not committed to anything like they used to be. But there's another attorney. He's like an attorney to the athletes, and his name is James Sexton. And this James Sexton, he put out a memo where he was telling all the athletes that he can get them hooked up. If they were to get married, he can get them hooked up. He can get them hooked up with prenups. And this guy, he wrote a celebrity divorce attorney, James Sexton, is offering free prenup agreements to the entire 2025 NFL draft class. Sexton advises that no rookie follow Travis Hunter's footsteps, marrying Lenee without a prenuptial agreement in place before the signing of his massive $46.6 million rookie contract was a big mistake. And he's basically calling this out and saying that this is wrong. And this he's doubling down by saying this.
90% of people have had a first marriage by age 50.
Well, you will have been married.
Yeah.
At some point.
If you are listening to this right now, 9 out of 10 of you will be married by like age 50. The divorce rate currently for, I guess, first marriage is what, 50%?
It's a little higher than that. 86% get remarried within 5 years of their divorce.
Okay, so it's like...
So it's not only do 86% of people who've now been through the horror of a divorce, even the friendliest one is a terrible disruption.
But now we're doing it all over again.
They're going to do it again. Let's do it. We're in.
Is it true that divorce rates for a second marriage are higher than 66%?
Yep.
And then third marriage, 75%.
Yeah, it's even higher.
What is happening? You would think you feel like you're getting better at it. Like you're like, okay, I failed once.
No, it teaches statistically it shows the opposite, which is that you're not good at it, and the chances of you getting better at it go down. So I have a client who's on his 5th divorce right now. And I've done his last 3 prenups.
So this lawyer, James Sexton, who has experience in this, because this is what he does for a living. And he was talking about, guys that get married once and it don't work out. When they get married a second time, the stakes is even higher that it's not going to work out. Then they get married a third time and it's even higher. So he was saying they're not even learning nothing. The men or the women, they're not learning their lessons. Even when they get married by the third time, they're still not learning, and the marriages are dissolving, right? So he's saying that it's not smart if you come into a lot of money and you get married in today's time and you don't have a prenup set in place. It's just dumb. So he's he's like a lawyer to the celebrities, and he's saying that he could set up these prenups, and these prenups should be set in place for protection, to protect your generational wealth, because you're working hard. He's the one running all the plays, throwing the football, catching the football, getting tackled, doing all these different things, and then you get married without a prenup, and you give half your money away for free. So that's basically what he's saying. But there's a lot of black men all over the internet talking about this stuff. Everybody's talking. Everybody has something to say about the situation. And like I said, because they're married, I'm not going in on them the way that I was, because I hope that they're successful. But you have the brothers from the Lepeep Network. They're also talking about this, and they said this.
Travis Hunter just got married. First reaction, good move or bad move?
Bad move. It's in fact a bad move. Emory University did a research study that found that men who spend more money on wedding rings are more likely to get a divorce. So the men who spent between $2,000 and $4,000 were 1.3 times more likely to get a divorce than men who spent $500 to $2,000 on a wedding ring. And the men who spent $20,000 or more on a wedding ring were 3.5 times more likely to get a divorce than men who spent less than that. And there he is dropping the bag on the wedding ring. So that right there is just being objective according to the data. That right there is it's not looking good. It's more likely that he's going to get a divorce.
So now you have these guys all online talking about the ring. If a guy buys a woman in a very expensive ring, that is the marriage is not going to last. But if he buys her a ring that's less expensive, it tends to last. The marriage tends to last more because she's more into him. She's more invested, right? Because it's not about the money. So everybody has this opinion. Man, this thing is like real crazy, man. Real crazy when it comes to these young people. And I don't understand why people won't just let these young people live. Listen, either it's going to work out or it's not. He gonna have to learn the hard way, or it may be successful. I don't know. But now they're talking about the ring when he buys the ring. But then you have another guy. He's talking about 4 out of 5 NFL players go broke right after retirement. He's saying this.
Did you know that NFL players that are multimillionaires, 4 out of 5 of them are either going bankrupt or reporting that they're having financial distress? That's literally, for every 5 NFL players, 4 of them are either bankrupt or having financial hardship. After they play, of course. There was even a documentary that came out that was called Broke, and it talked about exactly why NFL players are going broke right after playing. And one of the main reasons, as I thought about it, was probably because of this. Most NFL players have perfected the art and the craft of playing football. But the reason that most of them go broke is because no one's taught them how to be financial literate. Think about it. You go from playing football where you're making barely anything in college, everyone else is making money besides you, and then the next thing you know, you're a multimillionaire, literally with 6 figures and 7 figures that you're making a month and a year. It's really easy to spend that money thinking that it's going to be there forever because you never had money before.
So now this brother is talking about how the NFL players and a lot of these athletes go broke after retirement. They spend a lot of money. A lot of them are living paycheck to paycheck. They come into the league, they buy their mama a house, they buy a big house, they buy a bunch of cars, some jewelry, they do a lot of tricking. They buy their brother a car, a sister a car, their sister a house. So they already coming in there and they're in big time debt. And some of them are getting like $1 million every paycheck, a couple $100,000 every paycheck. But they always playing catch up their whole career. And that's why a lot of them have to play for so long. And now they're equating this to Travis Hunter. So anything that they can think of, right or wrong, they're going to equate this to Travis Hunter. And I keep telling y'all, man, listen, I don't know why people just be supportive of him, just be happy of him now. He married her. That's who he wanted to marry, right? You don't got to marry her. You don't got. I don't got his money. You don't have his money. Why are you so upset about it? Why are you so invested? Right? But it's the internet. People can make videos off of it. They can make money, and it's more salacious talking down on his wife and talking down on him for people to come look at it. When they first, I wouldn't have recommended that he married her, but now that he married her, like, we should be more supportive and hope that they make it. Hope that she's a good wife to this young black man. Let's hope this, right? We should hope. But again, like I said, the internet is cruel, man. And the internet has no emotions, it has no feelings, and people just do what they want to do, man. So I don't know. I just think that I hope that he got the right financial advisors around him. He make a lot of money where he can live off of his endorsements, where his contracts that he gets, for the most part, he don't even have to spend that money. He can just put it up. He can have it well invested. So if he played 12, 13 years in the league, by the time he retire, he has all kinds of investments set up where he done quadrupled his money, right? And he done made so much money off endorsements, he could just live off his endorsements. Get equity in properties. He can do a whole bunch of different things. So that's what I'm praying for. I'm not looking to the negative in this, because he made this choice that's just what his life is going to consist of. I'm a black man. That's a black man. So I want to see the black man be happy. I want to see the black man succeed. So I'm praying for prosperity. I'm praying for good health. I'm praying for success for the brother. That's what we should be doing. If we say that there's a bro code, right? We can disagree with his choice, right? We can disagree with his choices, but at the end of the day, despite my disagreements, why wouldn't I want to see him happy? Why wouldn't I want to see him successful? Why wouldn't I want to see his marriage flourish and work? Other than that, I'm just a hater. So that's my opinion on it, man. I'm going to cut this video short here. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button. Subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.